Now, if this game goes to Game 5, then that will confirm Daniel as first place in the group. If this series goes to Game 5, I should say, that confirms Daniel as the winner of the group, and it also confirms apparently Jack as the loser of the group. So if you're hoping for as much drama as possible right down to the wire, then you want any score except a 3-2 here. You want anyone to win by 3-1 or 3-0. However, if one of these players beats the other in a sweep, then apparently Jack would need to beat Daniel. Oh my goodness, what a save by Rw9. He's not going to let me talk scenarios at all here. Apparently Jack would need to beat Daniel 3-1 if Rw9 or Joreuz sweep the other. So I repeat that, Rw9 and Joreuz, if one of them sweeps the other, then apparently Jack would need to 3-1 or 3-0 Daniel in order for the player who sweeps the other in this series to win the group ahead of Daniel. If one of these guys beats the other by just 2 games, 3-1, it's actually a save. Hold on. Oh, it's got in. Oh no, Joreuz, he did the hard part. He demoed Rw9 after half flipping into position here. Managed to avoid own goaling, but then he just flopped on it. That's painful, he says. I mean, he's not wrong. That was a tough one. I don't think he realized it was just going to sit on the goal line like this. He probably thought it was going in quickly. And now he's down 2-1. Oh, what a heartbreaker for Joreuz. He did so well at the start of this game and then completely falls apart. But yeah, just to finish off the scenarios here, if there's a 3-1 in this series, for example, if Rw9 or Joreuz 3-1 the other, then they will need apparently Jack to sweep Daniel in order for them to win the group. So yeah, Rw9, whoever wins this series between Rw9 and Joreuz is going to become the biggest apparently Jack fan in that matchup against Daniel. Daniel, of course, wins the group if he just beats Jack by any scoreline. But you might be able to confirm the win before he even starts playing if this goes to Game 5. Jack's hoping it doesn't go to Game 5 either, by the way. If Jack's watching, he just doesn't want Game 5 in this. Because if this goes to Game 5, then Jack cannot catch up. He can't win the group, or he can't even finish third. He'd just be playing for his honor at that point to ruin Daniel's day. Just imagine, oh, that would just be the worst day possible for Jack. He doesn't even have a chance of finishing third in the group. Joreuz and Rw9 go to Game 5, and then he loses to Daniel anyway, and then England lose to Senegal. He just like goes from bad to worse to dead. 3 steps in a row. P12C4, thanks to the 30-month Tier 1. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks to the 6-month Tier 1 from Chip Sharp. Now let's see how Joreuz's defense can hold up. He's shown some really peak saves sporadically throughout this event, but he's only been able to match Rw9 in little bursts. Never been able to continue, chaining together these insane saves time and time again. Although he did in the European ProDrops Invitational. I think that's where Joreuz's defense very much peaked for him. Of course, cross-region stage has been a little bit more competitive, so it's harder to produce that same level of defense against these players. Joreuz, more than anything, will just want to get the win here. I don't think he'll be thinking too much about scorelines. He just wants to beat Rw9, because Rw9, even though he's lost in this group to Daniel, is still considered by many to be, well, he's got a great claim at being best in the world, because he's won 2 of Fear's tournaments recently, and he's doing pretty well in this one as well. So a lot of people think even though he's lost 1 series to Daniel, he might still be the best player in the world. It's really only players like TRK, Jan, who have a claim, probably mostly TRK, who has a claim against him. Daniel, if he can beat Jack later on today, convincingly. Rw9 is looking pretty good from the start of this game. 4-3 now, at exactly half time. Just catches Joreuz in a bit of a bind here. Yeah, Rw9 did win my Amina tournament as well, so he's won 3 tournaments. He's won both of, he won the Fear's International Tournament, Fear's EU Tournament, my Amina tournament. He's won 3 different tournaments. This is a, this is also a tournament he could win today if Jack really pops off against Daniel. But looking at how well Daniel's been playing recently, I don't see that happening. I think Daniel's going to sweep this. Maybe not sweep Jack, but sweep the group. Not seen any sweeps in any matchups in the group. Everything's been 3-1 so far. Joreuz with a chance to tie. Pretty straight dribble though. He decides to bail out of that one as there wasn't much of an angle to play with. Goes for the boost steal instead. What a great decision that's turned out to be. He's got Rw9 in the back foot, but Rw9 makes the save look easy. And now he walks away with the ball. And like Joreuz before him, had a bit of a direct dribble, so didn't commit for the shot. Instead, same as Joreuz, plays for the boost steal. Both players showing the composed, controlled aggression, but it's Rw9 who converts it into a goal and leads now by 2. Yeah, I still think the greatest ones player of all time is FairJame. But, you know, the longer players like Joreuz stay active, the more likely it is that they can clips him at some point in the future. Oh, that's a big flick. Joreuz forces Rw9 to jump with that one, but the ball did not really bounce too nicely for him. Rw9 threatening a continuation in the back corner there, but thinks better off it with only 23 boosts to play with. He's used all that to get back into the midfield and fight for the ball. Rw9 able to turn the possession around now. Gives it back in exchange for the 100 boost in Joreuz corner. But this is where Rw9 is most dangerous. He is the best player in the world right now at baiting his opponent into positions where they think that they've got him beat. They think that they've got him in an awkward position. Actually, it's them who ends up in an awkward position, and Rw9, who handles pretty much any position you put him in with relative ease, such that he can counter-attack from very, very interesting and unexpected positions. Now 3-goal lead. Joreuz started strong in game 1, but with all Rw9 for the second half of it. And a while since Joreuz scored. Rw9 already got a good read on him. And there's another one of Rw9's specialities. He pre-jumps to dissuade his opponent from flicking or shooting high, and then flies down into a strong 50 anyway. Once again, just perfect height on the challenge. The fact that the Rw9 can just read exactly what height he needs to be challenging at every single time will never cease to amaze me. GG, says Joreuz. He's going to forfeit this one, so I'll go ahead and send us into game 3 here. Game 2, I should say. Wow, Rw9 statement win there. Joreuz off the back of a 3-1 win against Jack right before this. You know, had, I think, built up a little bit of momentum in that series for himself to work with, but Rw9's defense is just a different level. It simply is the best in the world, in my opinion. And I think that's a pretty popular opinion and not a controversial opinion. You guys can weigh in on that discussion in chat right now if you so wish. By simply typing 1 if you think Rw9 has the best defense in the world of 1v1 right now. So I think he does. And I think there's no one else in his tier. I think when you look at S tier defense, he's raised the bar. He is the only player with S tier defense. There are plenty players with A tier defense, but Rw9 is the only one in S. So that's a snipe. Joreuz with a perfectly placed shot out of reach of Rw9. And powerful enough to get past him before Rw9 could close the gap. Lineblaze could be up there. I'd say Lineblaze is A. This Lineblaze goal line defense is definitely very impressive, but I think Rw9 has even got him beat there right now. The fact that Rw9 is at the level he is really, really impressed me. It looks like he's got some ping issues. Okay, what we'll do is we'll pause this. Is it connection or server? Let's ask him. If it's server, we can just restart or make a new server and start 1-0. He's probably yelling at his brother Kalir's to stop downloading. Why pause? Because Rw9 wrote ping in the chat. He wrote ping, and his ping is indeed spiked from 80 to 120. Yeah, we're going to change server really quickly. So when we come back in, we'll start at 4:45, 1-0 for Joreuz. Since that was roughly the time that ping was called. Roughly the time that Rw9 stopped moving. If Rw9 has the best defense in the world, how did Daniel beat him? By playing extremely good offense. Alright, Rw9 has got 96 ping here. It's green, but it's not the best server he could have got. Alright, we got a 92, and he's going to say that's good. Alright. There we go. I forgot that if you pause it during a countdown, the countdown just resumes when you unpause. You've got to wait for the countdown to complete and then pause it. Been a while since I've had to do this. Joreuz is in a very precarious position at the moment, as I alluded to earlier. If either of these players want to top the group at the end of today, they need a 3-1 win at worst and a sweep at best. And Joreuz can no longer sweep Rw9, so he's going to need to win 3 straight games and then rely on Jack sweeping Daniel to carry him to group victory. Not many people are going to be predicting that to happen. Great air dribble demo from Joreuz to kick things off. It's leading into Rw9, who was jumping up early for that one. Rw9, in most of his air dribble demo defense, this happened recently, has preferred to fly over the top of his opponent, timing his dodge to take him over the challenge and hit the ball at the same time. Sometimes when his opponents are air dribbling a bit more slowly, he can use that technique to save the shot by bumping them into it, which we might see today. Joreuz is going to go back up by 1 here. Half flip kickoff working wonderfully. Back up by 2, I should say. Forgot about the 1 goal that Joreuz had at the start of the game for free. Well, I guess it wasn't for free. He earned it before we restarted the lobby. What do you guys think? What do you guys think the percentage chance will be for Jack to beat Daniel 3-1 if Rw9 can sweep Joreuz? So assuming that Rw9 wins 2 more games, which I don't think is a given at all. I think Joreuz could easily win one of these. Looks to be in good form today. And he usually takes games off everyone. What percentage chance would you guys give Jack of taking a 3-1 win against Daniel, though? That would be, I think, a harder thing to do. Given both those players' recent form. I think 20% is a decent shout. 20% for a 3-1. I'd probably give it a bit lower, though. Probably like 10 or 15% for a 3-1. And then I'd probably give Daniel... I think Daniel's probably 60-40 favorite there. Jack maybe like 25% of winning 3-2. And then maybe like 10 or 15% to win 3-1. Something like that. Well, that was a bit careless for Rw9. Or careless for Joreuz, I mean. Rw9 getting a completely free goal after Joreuz plays for the boost after the kickoff. Is this going to be another one for Rw9? Indeed it is. That's 3 kickoff goals. Joreuz again decides to flip to the mid boost instead of going for the back corner boost, or indeed just playing the ball directly. And that just allows Rw9 to take the boost and score with absolutely no fight at all. I mean, yes, an element of that is Rw9's strong kickoffs, but Joreuz's decision making after these kickoffs, it's been a little bit questionable. And by a little bit questionable, I mean a little bit questionable. He's outplayed Rw9 positionally now to go up by 2 again. Rw9 prioritizing the life of his car there rather than putting himself in a dangerous position. It looks like when Rw9 loses the kickoff, he's able to get back to it most of the time, whereas for a couple of those plays, Joreuz, when he loses the kickoff, he looks to be immediately out of position. Thanks, Lethem, we're glad you're liking it. Had many requests over the recent months to get yourself back into the mix in North America. How's the ranked grind been going? I know you occasionally go back on the ranked ones grind. You've been moving up and up, I hope. Trying to, I mean, bot Fennec meta's all the rage right now. I'd encourage you to invest in it while it's hot. Play the Fennec and turn off air roll and thrive. Time to de-rust. Well, that's the brilliant part about bot Fennec. You don't even need to de-rust. In fact, rustiness might be helpful. Might help you. It's very, very early and very high air dribble there from Joreuz, or air dribble in defense here. Air dribble defense from Joreuz. He's expecting Rw9 to go high. That's not the, I'd say, the standard for Rw9 with his air dribbles. He usually, at least from what I've seen recently, goes low or behind the ball, then mixes in the high air dribbles every now and then. Give you a scarab and a clown hat, first killer. You've got a deal. Yeah, we need the rematch. Lethem versus Scarab against first killer. I bet First Killer would want that match, if only if he's allowed to play the Scarab as well. Rw9, an accurate pinch from midfield, lack power though. Hook shot from Joreuz doesn't. Rw9 jumping at it and misses. Thought about hanging out on the back wall for the save, but that was going to be tricky. And as is saving this one, Joreuz is up by 2. The perfect shot, full volley. Rw9 looking to reverse into position to challenge that one, but like I often say, when the ball's bouncing or when the ball is up in the air, reverse challenges tend not to work. They're quite obvious when you can see them coming. Joreuz is going to win a kick-off with a wave dash recovery now. Chase Rw9 away from the back corner boost. This is a great position for Joreuz to secure the game. It might sound crazy to say, but Rw9 has been pretty counter-punchy. And if Joreuz just controls himself here, controls the ball, and a lot of time is going to go away before Rw9 gets another realistic opportunity. That's not the play Joreuz wanted. Rw9 gets an immediate chance on net. Joreuz doesn't have a lot of boost to play with here. Rw9 with the mind game. Quick glance to see where's Joreuz. Joreuz able to get back there in the nick of time. And that's a great recovery. He's going to be up by 3 now. And this is exactly what Daniel will be wanting. He might not have to do anything against Jack to win the group. If these guys, like I said earlier, if these guys go to game 5, Daniel wins the group, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to refresh Wikipedia after all is said and done to make sure that I'm right about that, but if I'm not mistaken, that is what's happening here. Rw9 isn't done yet though. A much more convincing mind game on Joreuz this time. And it's one that works out. Joreuz just didn't have enough boost to correct himself after he pre-jumped away from the ball there. And Rw9 get hold of the ball. Make this an interesting ending. Joreuz has it for now. No doubt Rw9 will challenge. That's a very heavy touch from Joreuz. Rw9 not ready for that actually. He expected a bit more control from Joreuz in that position. Rw9 is trying to create a goal scoring opportunity. He's got a little bit of an advantage in this position, but Joreuz is still between him and the goal and will win game 2. No 2-0 lead for Rw9. That means that for anyone but Daniel to win the group today, apparently Jack will need to sweep Daniel in the closing game of the group. He's going to need to win 3 games straight against an informed Daniel. And that's not all that needs to happen. We also need to see the same player win 2 games in a row here. And I could see it going to 5. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This looks like it's going all the way, with both of these players playing so far a very even match against each other. Cyberfire, thanks to 29-month Prime, also 4-month from Cameron OK. Or Cameron K, I should say. Welcome back for 4 months in a row. I did mention, somebody earlier on is asking if Daniel, or rather if Rw9 has the best defense in the world, how did Daniel beat him? And it's a good question, but the one thing I would mention there that is relevant to the Daniel Rw9 match and Rw9 defense specifically is that Daniel's the only player that's played Rw9 recently who's forced Rw9 to step out of his comfort zone and start to charge more challenges. But Joreuz is trying to do that to him here, and with flicks like these, it might be possible. That was an absolute laser into the top corner. That's why I think Rw9 does have the best defense, is that he's quite comfortable going forward. I say it's out of his comfort zone, but that's just because he is so good in his comfort zone on the goal line in positions like these, making clutch saves and then recovering to seal the ball away and counter-attack. Like, that is just Rw9 in a nutshell, what we've just witnessed. But if his opponent can start to score with the majority of their chances, which is ultra rare against Rw9, no one scores the majority of their chances against this guy. At least the majority of their chances on a defended net. But even if that does happen, Rw9 is quite comfortable advancing and playing for a more aggressive defensive strategy as well. We might see that in this series, because Joreuz has been exceptional. He's been very, very effective with his own offensive game. Great play by Joreuz, jumping over the demo there and takes the ball away. Rw9 not able to pre-jump the flick. He tried. You know, he's very close to this, Rw9. Joreuz's flicks have been on point here. Rw9 pre-jumped and he's still not able to get it done. Well, one thing that I've talked about as well with Rw9's shadow defense recently, you might have noticed it this game, you might have noticed it this series. One of the things that's really helped him to react well to what his opponents have done in his ProDrops matches, in his matches he's played in Fears 1's tournaments recently, is Rw9 saves his dodge a lot. If he thinks he can save his dodge, he will. Preferring to just single jump and fly up to the ball in defense and then dodge for a stronger contact. He does that when he's defending air dribbles, he does that when he's defending low 50s, does that even when he's defending flicks, it would seem, as he did try that on the previous shot. Didn't work, but maybe something to try in your own games. Instead of trying to surprise your opponent by how quickly you can advance, try to save the dodge and surprise them with a last second change of direction. Very calculated game at the moment from Joreuz. He's found a good rhythm against Rw9 here. Just settled into a slower pace. And now, with bursts of speed, he's looking to outplay Rw9, even if he is there to defend. Rw9 again up early, had a dodge, wanted to use it to hit the ball there, but Joreuz had enough pace to demo him clean out of the air. Once again, it's Joreuz with that half flip kickoff, and it's worked out well enough, I think. Oh, never mind. It's nearly resulted in a rascal. So that was two 50-50s in a row for Rw9 that he had to absorb in order to get a good shot off, and that was a shot that Joreuz has saved quite brilliantly. He's given, Rw9 himself has given Joreuz credit in the chat for that one, the quick chat. And Rw9 launches a huge flick into the backboard. It was too high. Joreuz went for it anyway. Sends it all the way to the back corner. Rw9 trying to counter-attack directly. Has he got the speed on this? Not quite. Joreuz sits on the back of the wall there after recovering. And not enough time to pick up small pads. Rw9 recycles and reduces the scoreline to just that one goal deficit now. Who would have thought that a Joreuz game would end up being so physical and so flick-based? He's showing his own versatility as of late. It's a fantastic 50-50. Rw9 has tried to mind game Joreuz several times in those positions. Here comes Joreuz again. This time, it's a lean back reset. Setup looked pretty similar to the air dribble demo that he scored earlier. Rw9 still able to read it. Joreuz off the wall, just dribbles it casually round Rw9. What a catch. Rw9 once again with quick chat credit for the Dutchman. Oh, that's just so difficult to see coming. Joreuz faking a shot, faking even a ground pinch at the last second. And to get that much directional change while having full control, even Rw9 not able to react to it. Minute and 23 to go. Joreuz looking to end Rw9's hopes of winning this group right here in this game. Boost advantage Rw9. Huge ground shot. And a third goal for him. It's looking like Khaled play from 2018. Just ripping it top shelf off a low bounce dribble. That's something that's really never going to fall out of the meta. Something that will always be effective no matter what year it is. Joreuz with a keen eye there, spots Rw9 landing, takes him out of the game. Decides to go for another outplay with a dribble. And it's going to work out. Joreuz sticking in the play here, even after Rw9 makes one save. That's a good save, by the way. Tough play to read from Rw9's POV. Joreuz stays with it, just circles back around. Look at this, mind game kickoff for Joreuz. He's just intentionally flipped on the spot there to try and mess with Rw9's mind. Actually worked out, you know. Joreuz not in a favourable position, but he's not in a terrible position either, and that's what he needs right now. That's to get more time off the clock. Rw9, how desperate is he for a goal in this position? Wave dash off the back. A mid-air challenge, both players fighting pretty evenly here, but the boost management at Joreuz has been perfect. To have 60 left over there is really quite special. Rw9 tries to shoot high into the net. Joreuz reads it. And now time really has gotten away from Saudi Arabian player, and time might have completely got away from him here. Joreuz puts up a very impressive defensive stand, controls the pace of the game to perfection, and beats Rw9 again. And just like that, Rw9 can now hope for no better than second place in the group. If he can beat Joreuz in this series, the group positions will be confirmed. First is now out of the question for him. Only Joreuz can contest Daniel at this point. But to do that, he needs one more win. And he cannot allow Rw9 to win game 4. This is it. Joreuz has to win game 4 to stay in the run-in to win this one. This really does blow the conversation of best ones player in the world wide open again in a in a time period where Rw9 wins 3 different tournaments. Jack and Joreuz both win 1 tournaments as well. We could have Daniel winning this tournament. So out of the 7 recent tournaments, there's been 4 different winners potentially. Very, very tough to know who's on top right now. Yeah, Daniel looking for his 2nd tournament win, by the way. He did win at NA ProDrops. Hopefully sometime during the major, maybe shortly after it, we can see Rw9 versus TRK. Jan against the top NA guys. I know Jan was in South America for a break after the end of the 3rd regional. But once he's back in North America, it would be cool to see show matches between him and the top players from NA, namely Daniel. Maybe first killer AJ as well. Next in line behind Dan. Yeah, we've got to see Rw9 TRK. It's the matchup in the Middle East. It just has to happen. As well as, TRK against EU's best as well. Joreuz in incredible form, it would seem. Not many players can beat Jack and Rw9 in the same day, but that's where Joreuz is right now. And a minute into game 4, he has got a massively advantageous position. Bit of a fortunate bump there from Rw9. He made direct head-on contact with Joreuz. Look at this from Joreuz. Fake challenge early on the air dribble. It's got Rw9 in a bit of a tricky position. Rw9 decides to sneak in for the boost steal, but had to accelerate back into defense without any delay. Oh, so does Joreuz. He's played for the boost steal and at a really, really bad time actually. So both players had this similar idea here. Steal the boost and then rush back into defense. The difference is Rw9 just had enough time to do that. Joreuz did not. So Rw9 leads 1-0. Chat saying Daniel's the best 1v1 based on 1 tournament. Yeah, I don't think... well, Rw9 was kind of the only player that had the opportunity to be just the best ones player. If today went his way, if everything went his way, he sweeps Joreuz and then then Daniel loses to Jack, allowing Rw9 to win this tournament as well. Then there's a pretty good shout that you could say Rw9 is number 1, but if he loses to Joreuz here, then I think that just opens up the conversation again. Means that it's less clear. Rw9 and Daniel are definitely both top 5. I think you've got to put Jack in your top 5 right now as well, but then who else are you going to put in your top 5? How are you squeezing in Joreuz and TRK and Jan, all at once? Like, there's just not enough space. It's a tough one. I mean, even Moxie just beat Jack as well, so... And Moxie beat Joreuz recently. There's probably about 7 or 8 players in the 1v1 scene who are all top 5 right now. I know that doesn't make any sense, but just to illustrate a point, it's super stacked. Super, super stacked. Usually after a series of tournaments like these, you'd see me making a video ranking either a tier list of ones players at the moment or maybe just a straight up top 10, but I feel like we need more. I feel like we need more show matches, namely involving TRK and Jan, like I said earlier. Look at that again. Rw9 saving his dodge so that he can react to what's coming at him at the last second. Can he bump Joreuz? No, Joreuz safely away. Now he's on the counter. The ball doesn't sit nicely for him though. Have to wait one more bounce. Start from the ground. Rw9 just crushes him in the challenge. This is now turning into a situation favoring Daniel the most, and also not helping Jack out a ton. I'm flying out to the Netherlands on Tuesday, innit, bruv? But I probably won't be streaming tomorrow before I go. I was thinking of streaming tomorrow if I can get my PC back from the repair shop, but I don't think it's going to be back in time. I'll have to wait and see. I'm going to call them tomorrow morning and see if it's ready. It's a big time mind game again for Rw9. He's had several. This series is very tough to read on these speedy approaches. Can you get a photo with me at Rotterdam? Yeah, absolutely. If I've got time. I mean, if I've got to go and cast, then I've got to go and cast something. But if I'm standing around, if I'm just chatting to people, then sure. Usually the best time to get photos with casters and people on the analyst desk is to do it right after one of their segments ends. So right after a desk segment is done. If you want to talk to someone at the desk, just head over in that area, see if you can get someone's attention. Not sure where the desk and the casters are going to be. We'll have to wait and see in Rotterdam. Where does Khaled go right now? Khaled is probably somewhere around top 10, either just inside or just outside top 10. Reason being, his activity has not really been there. He's beaten Joreuz recently in one of Fear's tournaments, if I'm not mistaken. That was just 2-0 though in a best of 3, so nothing too crazy. And he beat Clears as well. That was a best of 7. But with how many active players there are at the very top, I think you've got to favour that over the players who are not playing as much. Now, while all that is being said, Rw9 has been inching closer and closer to coming back in the series. Oh, that's a great read. Look at Rw9 here. He predicted that Joreuz would try and chip the ball off the near post and counter-attack. He just knew that that is likely to happen with the time that he had remaining. That's a hard read. Because if Joreuz doesn't play like that, if he goes for more of a defensive play, then that could backfire in Rw9. But he just predicted Joreuz would do exactly what he did, given the time that he had remaining. So it looks like we are headed towards a second, third place decider in this group. If you're not sure why that is, I'll repeat one more time for those of you who just joined or have joined later in the series here. If this goes to Game 5, Daniel wins the group. Daniel takes first place, and then the winner of Game 5 between Rw9 and Joreuz will take second place in the group and $500 as well. Third place will get 300, and then apparently Jack would be confirmed as fourth with 200. Joreuz is starting to wake up at the end of this game. It might not be done just yet. We wanted the pop bump after the fake shot before it, but Rw9 more than ready to defend that one. He's trying to waste all the remaining time now, and I think that might be game over for Joreuz. So he's got the ball past Rw9 here. He's got to floor pinch it in pretty much, and well, that'll do. So kickoff goal in a 0-second play is the way back for Joreuz here. We've seen it before in 1v1. But how is he going to get a kickoff goal against Rw9 is the tricky part. What's he going to come up with? I think he's just got to play for a standard kickoff. Yeah, he's gone for the good old classic big win on the outside. He's lost it, but I think you have to try in these positions. You just have to try. Rw9 kind of saw it coming. He just played for a big win on that same side as well. Yeah, with 6 seconds and a 2-goal difference, you got to go for the big win on the inside. It's the most likely way to get a kickoff goal these days, and pretty much at any point during Rocket League's history, to be honest. But congratulations, Daniel, on winning. If I'm not mistaken, which I could be, you always have to take that into consideration. I could be mistaken, but if I'm not mistaken, that confirms Daniel as first seed in the group. Reason being, Daniel is currently +4 game win-loss differential. Even if Jack sweeps him in the last match of the group, he will still be +1, which is what the winner of this series will also be on. And the second tiebreaker is head-to-head, and Daniel has the head-to-head win against both Rw9 and Joreuz. So congrats, Daniel, on winning the group, and commiserations to Jack on losing the group. For the exact same reasons that Daniel has won it, Jack has lost it. He holds no tiebreakers against Joreuz or Rw9. So regardless of who loses this and who wins, Jack will not be able to overtake them in game win-loss differential. So all to play for here in this series, but the group standings are confirmed. Joreuz and Rw9 playing for second place here, playing for the win against each other. Like I said before, if Joreuz can win this, it makes the discussion of who the best 1v1 player is just that little bit more interesting. As I'd put Rw9 over Joreuz right now. And Joreuz closed the gap, not able to close that gap at his far post before Rw9 slotted the ball in it. The point system is so weird. How is it weird? it's a normal group format. I know a lot of American viewers are probably thinking, why isn't there a playoff? So there's a couple of reasons. Number one, only had time for the games that we currently have here. But secondly, I don't think you need a playoffs. I think sometimes just finishing with a group or a league is more than fine. Good save by Joreuz, just chipping it off the inside of his own post there. Rw9 still coming towards him dangerously, but Joreuz has saved the follow-up shot, and now he's got the ball to play with. Fantastic first touch on the counter. Not even Rw9 going to get close to that one. Joreuz puts himself up by 1. Yeah, the reason I say American is because I think most American sports finish off with playoffs. They have a league and then playoffs after. Whereas a lot of sports that the rest of the world play just have leagues and that's it. There's no playoffs attached to it. So this isn't a concept that the rest of the world is too... this isn't a concept that's alien to most of the world, but I could understand why it would seem weird if all the sports that you watch have playoffs. But yeah, I was explaining this in another stream that I did recently for this tournament, that if you think about it, why should the guy who finishes second place get a shot at Daniel? I mean, the playoffs for a 4-player tournament like this would probably just be the top 2 players playing against each other. Why should the guy finishing second get another shot at Daniel? All the players have played each other. Daniel has won. Should he not be rewarded with his win after he's already done enough to win? Why does he have to do it again? You know, why does he have to win twice? So yeah, for little standalone tournaments like this, I kind of do like a league. The best format, in my opinion, the best playoff format for a small league is to do a gauntlet where third plays fourth, winner of that plays second, winner of that plays first, and so on. Well, that would be where it stops, of course, but what I mean by so on is if you've got 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, etc., then you'd start off further down the line. But yeah, we don't have time to do that with the short time we have between now and the major. I'm pretty happy with it though. We get to see 6 world-class cross-region matches that would otherwise not really be possible. Well, Joreuz would and Jack Daniel would, but the other 4 wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the fact that Jack and Daniel are in Europe for the major. Well, what a sequence by Rw9. Rw9 in the last 2 sequences has just been in a league of his own. Absolutely perfect defense. Can he go up by 2? Yes, he can. Joreuz wanted to bump Rw9 there instead of playing the ball. Rw9 just able to get contact before Joreuz rather hit him side on. Virgil, thanks for the 5-month prime. Hope you're enjoying the stream today. We're in the last game of the penultimate series of the tournament. Only pride on the line for Jack and Daniel after this. I think that'll be more than enough. Daniel especially will, I think, really want to get a win on Jack after Jack recently reverse swept him the last time that the 2 played against each other. Well, as far as I'm aware of at least. Rw9 up 6-3 now. Joreuz is starting to commit pretty hard for a lot of shots, and these are not the safest shots to be going for against a player like Rw9. Thing is, now he might have to go for shots like that because the score gap has opened up to 3. Before now, don't think he needed to do this. Don't think he needed to throw himself all in. Rw9 might have just put Joreuz all in. Well, he has now. 7-3. Rw9 skips around Joreuz. Gives himself an even larger advantage. Joreuz went for a 50-50 there. He tried to get a solid contact on the ball. Rw9 just went through him like he wasn't even there. Go ahead and spoil the football score. What's the England-Senegal score though? Right now, as chat saying Senegal got scammed. What happened? Were they denied a penalty or something? 1-0. England just scored. How did Senegal get scammed? What happened? TLDW me. Too long didn't watch. Now, England are supposed to beat Senegal, so no one in Scotland's watching it. But we're all going to watch France beat them in the next round, it's fine. Every bar, every restaurant, every pub in Scotland's going to have French flags for the England quarter-final game if they advance. Wait a minute. I thought Joreuz saved that. I was kind of half looking and I looked over at my chat for a second, but he just jumped vertically. I thought he would have had I saw where the shot went. I thought, oh yeah, Joreuz will save that, but he actually pre-jumped. He jumped up early for it, and I don't think he needed to. He probably, well, at least a shot that quality, he could have saved it without doing that. Oh, well played, Rw9 with great control in the back corner. This is frustrating for Joreuz, who's 4 down with just over a minute to go. Needs to be so clinical here, and he hasn't been with his first offensive drive. Rw9 denies any opportunity for a second one. Not once, but twice. Now just controls the fallen engagement. He heard Joreuz coming there. Rw9 aware as ever, and he doesn't even care too much about scoring. He just wants to dribble the ball around and deny Joreuz chances. Joreuz trying to sneak in from the far side, looking to catch Rw9 out of position, but I think time has just got away from him here. Too all in too often early in the game, and not enough time to really do a lot of damage to a player as solid as Rw9 from a losing position. Rw9 just denying absolutely every Joreuz opportunity. He's going to go up by an additional goal, and that will be it. Okay, he's not going to go up by an additional goal. He's missed it, but GG's, says Joreuz. Out he goes in third place. Rw9 confirmed second with a nice little comeback win there against an informed Joreuz. Joreuz played very well today. It wasn't quite enough to take down the mighty Rw9. Rw9 looking pretty good in second place there. Redemption certainly for his 3-1 loss to Daniel at the start of the group. He'll be pretty annoyed at himself for that one though, because think back to the 3-1 loss, Rw9 versus Daniel. Rw9 had an open net, a tricky open net, but still an open net to equalize the series against Daniel the first time they played, and he missed it. Now if Rw9, it's crazy that a round robin group stage really does go back to a moment like that, but after all the rest of the group has played out, the one moment that Rw9 I think was closest to changing his group outcome was that one game right there. If he won that one game, then Jack could win the group for Rw9 by beating Daniel, but he did not, and therefore Daniel is victorious.